Hi friends, welcome to my second class on global climate and climate change. Earth's climate is a balance between the incoming solar radiation and the outgoing long wave radiation. So now we will move to this balance mechanism and the impact of this balance mechanisms on the distribution of different meteorological parameters. So, the Earth's heat budget. The main source of energy to the climate system is the solar energy, that is the insolation. It is found that around 1370 watts per meter squares of energy is reached at the top of the atmosphere per second, which lies in short wavelengths. I hope you have already learned how to calculate it, the solar constant. Out of this much energy, 16% of the insolation is absorbed by water vapor, dust, carbon dioxide, etc. in the atmosphere, and 3% is absorbed by clouds. Around 6% is reflected or scattered back by the aerosols in the atmosphere back to the space. Around 20% is reflected back by the clouds. Earth's surface reflects around 4% of the insolation. The remaining 51% of the insulation is get absorbed at the Earth's surface. This absorbed energy is utilized to increase the Earth's surface temperature and dissipate in many ways. Around 23% is used to evaporate water from different sources called the latent heat flux, which often leads to cloud formation. So the total emission by clouds is equal to 3 plus 23 equal to 26 percentage. Around 7 percentage of the heat is transferred to the air through conduction called the sensible heat flux. 21 percentage of the insulation is re-radiated from the Earth's surface as outgoing long wave radiation in IR band, infrared band, of which around 50 percentage is get absorbed in the atmosphere by greenhouse gases, and the remaining 6 percentage is re-radiated to the space. Finally, the net emission by the atmosphere is the sum of absorbed insulation, that is 16 percentage, absorbed outgoing long wave radiation by, that is 15 percentage, and then the sensible heat, that is 7 percentage, leads to a total of 38 percentage. Any changes in these parameters leads to changes in the balance. Recent climate change, the global warming, is the balance problem arised due to greenhouse gas absorption changes. Now we will see how this insolation and incoming outgoing long wave radiation are distributed across the earth. Now we will see the geographical and latitudinal distribution of insolation on the earth. Insolation travel lower distance in the tropics to reach the surface, and the rays are vertically fallen to the ground. This leads to a lower scattering and reflection from the ground, while over the extratropics, insolation undergo more scattering and reflection from the ground as it travel longer distance in the atmosphere and the angle of incidence is high. Also, an equal amount of insulation is distributed over a larger area over the extratropics compared to the tropics. So, all these lead to a distribution pattern of insulation like this red line latitudinally. Insulation maximum will be over the tropics and minimum will be over the poles. It varies from around 25 to 350 watts per meter square per second. If we measure the OLR, outgoing long wave radiation, using satellite, the values goes like the blue line zonal wide. Its variations are less, that is 100 to 260 watts per meter square per second. If you look at the tropics, they receive around 330 watts per meter square per seconds of energy and emit around 260 watts per meter square per seconds of energy. The surplus of the extra energy is being redistributed across the globe as poleward transport of energy due to thermal gradient. Though higher latitudes receive less insolation, they emit more of outgoing long wave radiation as they receive energy from the tropics too. So the net radiation show surplus over tropics and deficit over extratropics. Latitudinal variation of global mean surface air temperature also follow the same pattern. The first two graphs show the latitude in x-axis and altitude in the y-axis and the temperature with the colors. You can see maximum temperature is over the tropics and minimum temperature over the poles, following the same patterns of the previous figure showing radiation patterns. Now, if you see the seasonal distribution of insolation at different latitudes of the northern hemisphere, it look like this. Blue lines show the insolation reached at the equator during an year. So the maximum values are observed during equinox and the minimum values are observed during solstices. And for any northern hemispheric latitudes, maximum insolation is observed during June solstice and the minimum values are observed during December solstice. I hope you can show a same graph for southern hemispheric latitudes. So my class is over. Thank you.